Somewhere in this city, right now, a young woman is staring at her phone. She has matched with a man named Jake. Jake's profile says he is 6'1", enjoys hiking and is fluent in sarcasm. She does not know what Jake looks like in real life. She does not know if Jake is genuinely 6'1". She does not even know if Jake's name is Jake. What she does know is that he sent the word "hey" 47 minutes ago, and she is now consulting 3 separate group chats about how to respond to the word "hey." This is modern dating, and I have spent the last several months studying it the way one studies a slow-moving industrial accident, with horror, fascination, and an overwhelming urge to offer everyone involved a cup of tea. The profile photograph. You are usually given a small number of them. Together they must suggest that you are attractive, adventurous, and own at least one friend. The friend photo is critical. Without the friend photo, you could be anyone. A loner, a fugitive, a man who discusses his views on monetary policy with his houseplants. The friend photo is a character reference in image format. It says, "I am a normal person. A real human being has voluntarily spent time with me. Behold social proof." Obtaining the friend photo requires planning, lighting, a friend who photographs well, but not better than you. The results must look spontaneous. It is never spontaneous. The most natural-looking photograph in human history took 37 attempts and a ring light. You must now write a biography, a tiny box in which to summarize your entire existence as a person, your hopes, your values, your complicated relationship with your mother, and what does almost everyone write? Looking for my partner in crime. Partner in crime. What crime? Tax fraud? Jaywalking? The crime is never specified. It is the vaguest invitation in recorded human history. The other classic, equally at home on a muddy hike as in a cocktail bar. Congratulations, you have just described the basic requirements of being a mammal with functioning legs. My postman could say the same thing. He walks everywhere. He also enjoys a coffee when the weather is bad. He does not, to my knowledge, have a dating profile, though I increasingly wonder. The swipe. We have invented a mechanism for ejecting strangers at a speed that would once have required a clipboard and serious emotional problems, while sitting on the toilet. Romance everybody? A swipe to the right means interest. A swipe to the left means no. The left swipe can begin to feel less like a choice and more like a nervous habit. In physical terms, this is equivalent to walking into room after room, taking one look at the person inside and immediately leaving. If you did this in real life, people would call an ambulance. On the app, it is called having high standards. We have not raised our standards. We have lowered our threshold for dismissal. There is a difference. We have not noticed it yet. You have matched. This means 2 people have looked at each other's photographs and simultaneously decided, "I would not flee if I saw this person." That is the foundation on which modern romance is built. Not love, not attraction, the absence of active disgust. From this fragile, slightly damp foundation, we are expected to build something lasting. In earlier eras, this moment was handled differently. There was a script. You walked up to someone. You said something. Terrible? Yes. Formulaic? Absolutely. But at least both parties knew what they were doing. Now there is no script. There is just a blinking cursor. And the paralyzing knowledge that whatever you type will be screenshotted and analyzed by 3 people you have never met. Now comes the opening message. There are 3 recognized schools of thought. The Hey School. A. One word. Minimum effort. Maximum ambiguity. It tells the recipient that you own a device with letters on it. The Essay School. I see you enjoy hiking. I too enjoy the outdoors. Last summer I completed a coastal path walk over 3 days. What is your favorite type of terrain? Sir, this is a dating application. She swiped right on your face, not your opinions on elevation. The obscure cultural reference school. You send a line that is funny if and only if they have seen the same film you have. The success rate feels statistically invisible. The humiliation rate feels fully operational. Hey asks too little. The essay asks too much. The reference asks you to have read the same mind. None of them works reliably, and yet we choose one every time. You are now in the texting phase. This can last between 3 days and 7 months. During this period, 2 people reveal small fragments of their personalities while hiding everything that might cause the other to lose interest. It is a performance with a very specific audience of 1. Rule 1. Do not reply too quickly. Replying within 30 seconds communicates that you have been waiting. You must not appear to have been waiting. Even if you were waiting, even if they were also waiting, especially then. The acceptable reply window is somewhere between too eager and probably dead. This is emotional calculus performed by people who failed actual calculus. Rule 2. Match their energy. If they send 5 words, you send 5 words. If they ask a question, you ask one back. It is a game of emotional tennis where both players are trying to appear as though they are not playing tennis. The texting phase ends either in a date or in silence, or in a conversation so long that by the time you meet, you feel you know each other, and then discover you don't. The typing indicator. 3 small dots. They appear, they disappear, they appear again. What is she writing? A novel, a rejection, a list of conditions. After 4 minutes of visible composition, the message arrives. LOL. 3 characters, 4 minutes of visible effort. She wrote and deleted an entire emotional paragraph and replaced it with a sound effect. The typing indicator is the most stressful feature ever added to human communication. In the telegram era, you waited days for a reply. You did not wash it being written. We have taken uncertainty and added a live progress bar to it. This was not an improvement. You have survived the texting phase. Both parties have agreed to occupy the same physical space simultaneously. The first date is, functionally, a job interview where both candidates are, also the hiring manager. You are simultaneously trying to impress and to assess, performing and judging the performance. And you're doing this while drinking something you ordered in a panic. An oat milk flat white that costs £4.80 and that you would never normally order, but the barista asked, and you said the first thing that came out. And now you are holding it for 90 minutes. The questions are always the same. What do you do means, how much money do you earn? Nobody asks the real question. We use job title as a proxy and calculate salary from context. What are you looking for means, are you going to waste my time? Both people say something real, something genuine, a proper connection. And then spend the following 3 weeks demonstrating that they did not mean that. The first date ends and both parties begin the analysis before they have reached the car park. The bill. A small piece of paper that has ended more promising connections than incompatibility, distance, or timing combined. Do you pay? Do you split? Do you offer and hope they decline? Do you insist and risk seeming old-fashioned? Suggest splitting and risk seeming like an accountant with trust issues? There is no correct answer. There has never been a correct answer. Archaeologists will one day conclude that the Roman Empire fell because a senator suggested going Dutch at a tavern and a colleague took it personally. Someone always pays in the end. And the moment lingers between you the whole walk to the station. interpreted differently by both. You had been on several dates. You have met each other's peripheral friends. There is a toothbrush at their flat, and yet you do not know what you are. A situationship has all the emotional complexity of a relationship, all the jealousy and none of the vocabulary, because labels are apparently terrifying. Commitment in the modern era has the emotional weight of a 30-year fixed mortgage. Everyone wants the house. Nobody wants to sign the papers. The defining question of the situationship is, what are we? 3 words that cause more panic than a fire alarm in a crowded building. The person who asks has revealed that they care, and caring in this economy is a vulnerability. We have built a system where the person who cares less wins. We have made apathy a competitive advantage. The answer is always some version of, I really like you, but I'm not ready to put a label on it. Translation, I enjoy your company but would like to maintain the theoretical option of leaving without paperwork. The situationship does not end. It depressurises slowly like a tyre until one day you realise it is flat and you are unsure when it happened. Ghosting. One day you are discussing plans for the weekend. The next day, silence. Not dramatic silence, not hurt silence, just absence. They have not vanished. They are having brunch in full public view. Eggs Benedict, still alive, still warm. They have simply decided that you no longer exist. 12 characters would have ended this with dignity. 12 characters was apparently too high a price for basic human decency. The person who was ghosted spends the next 3 days reviewing every message they sent, looking for the thing that ended it. They will not find it, because there is nothing to find. Someone found it easier to disappear than to type 12 characters. That tells you everything you needed to know about them. The kindest thing about being ghosted is that it provides eventually very clear information. Here is the uncomfortable mathematics of modern dating. You have access to more potential partners than any human in history. Your grandparents chose from approximately 12 people who lived within walking distance and attended the same church. You have access to every person in a 30-mile radius with a phone and a degree of optimism. The result of this abundance is not satisfaction. It is paralysis. When you can choose anyone, you struggle to choose someone, because choosing someone means accepting that everyone else is no longer available. You are standing in front of a buffet. You are starving. And you cannot bring yourself to take a plate because what if the prawn cocktail arrives later? Your grandparents did not have this problem. They met someone at a dance, decided yes, this one, got on with it. Was it perfect? No. Were they lying awake, wondering if someone with better hiking photos existed somewhere in the world? They were not. They simply got on with it. Getting on with it, the most underrated strategy in the history of the species. Before any reply is sent, it must be approved by council. The group chat. Every message of significance must be submitted for collective analysis before transmission. The council typically has 3 members, one who says send it, one who says wait, and one who rewrites it entirely. The rewritten version is always worse. It is more careful, less human, and somehow uses the phrase looking forward to connecting. Looking forward to connecting to a person you met at a quiz night on a Thursday. The debate can last up to 40 minutes for a reply to a question about whether you want to get coffee. The final version is a composite. It has the warmth of no one. It sounds like 3 people. Which of course it is. The best messages are sent without consulting anyone, in the moment, without editing. They sound like a person because they are from one. The group chat never closes. After the message is sent, the council convenes again to analyze the response. This continues indefinitely, or until someone gets married and the chat becomes about the wedding. After the first date comes a very specific kind of optimism. Not certainty, not love, something more fragile than either. The feeling that this might be something. It makes them reread every exchange from the evening and classify each one as evidence. They laughed at that thing I said. They mentioned a film I should watch. They used my name once. Using someone's name once in a message is now a romantic signal. We are rationing names. The handshake or hug at the end is examined for duration and warmth. Was it a fraction longer than necessary? Did they face toward you or slightly away? By midnight, a 2-hour dinner has been converted into a 20-page report with no clear conclusion. In the morning, a message is sent, something casual, something that took 40 minutes to write but looks like it was typed in passing. If they reply, the optimism is rationed carefully, like the last of something you cannot replace. The second date is confirmed in language so neutral it could have been sent between strangers. Both parties know this, neither mentions it. Every few months following a rejection or a fading situationship comes the profile refresh. The photographs are reviewed. The old ones look like a different person. They're slightly younger in the old ones. They look more confident. They look as though nothing bad has happened yet. The old photos are kept. They are technically still you, a previous edition, but still in print. The biography is rewritten. Looking for my partner in crime is removed. Something more mature is added. Something that suggests growth, self-awareness, and a willingness to be vulnerable. It is essentially the same thing in longer form. The profile goes back out. The photographs are marginally better. The biography is marginally worse. The hope is identical. The hope is always identical. And perhaps that is the most human thing about all of this. The profile changes. The hope does not. We keep going back every time with a slightly better photograph and the same open question. Now, I have had tremendous fun at everyone's expense, and I am not sorry. But here is the part where I say what I actually think. The apps are not the problem. A hammer does not build a house badly. The person holds the hammer. The reason dating feels broken is that we are asking technology to solve an emotional problem. We want to be known completely, and we show only what we have approved. It is like applying for a job using a slightly fictional CV, and then being surprised when the interview feels wrong. The truth is that love requires you to be bad at something. It requires awkward silences you sit through, terrible first dates you survive. It requires sending a message about something you actually care about, and not knowing if that was the right thing. It requires being seen, actually seen, before you have edited the photograph. And that is frightening. It will always be frightening. But it is also the only part that matters. I am old enough to remember when dating was simpler. Not better, simpler. We had fewer options, worse haircuts, and absolutely no idea what we were doing. But we showed up, in person, with our actual faces, our actual personalities. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. When it didn't, someone said so, to your actual face, in actual words. And you went home and felt terrible, and then you recovered, and then you tried again. No algorithms, no typing indicators, no situationships. Just two nervous people in a room, hoping for the best. So here is my advice, for whatever it is worth, from someone who once asked a woman to dance using entirely the wrong hand. She said yes anyway, and we danced badly for 20 minutes and it was completely fine. Put the phone down, just for an evening. Go somewhere where there are other humans. A pub, a class, a park, the post office queue, And if you see someone who makes you feel anything, say something. It does not have to be clever. It can be about penguins. Just say it with your voice to their face and see what happens, because a moment of genuine, unedited human connection is rare. That is the whole thing. No algorithm manufactures it. Good night, everyone. Stop scrolling. Someone out there is waiting for you to say something first.